guys, today I'm going to show you how to play First Times by Sheeran, which for me is one of the best songs on this new album. And as usual, I'm going to teach you the live version, and I will especially focus on the finger picking, as it might be the most essential element of the song. So first I will teach you the finger picking technique, and after that I'm going to show you the different chord progressions for the different parts of the song, and also walk you through how to add the finger picking technique to the different chords. In addition to the different chords, I will also show you the different finger-picking variations that appears in different parts of the song. This is completely optional, so if you prefer not to include the variations, it will still sound great. And in the end, I will play through the entire song along with the live version playing in the background. There will be an overview of the different parts of the video in the description, and I hope you enjoy it. So to begin with, this is in standard tuning, and you have to put your capo on the 2nd fret. I'm going to use the first chord as a base for the finger picking, which is just a simplified G chord, by putting your middle finger on the 3rd fret of the low E string. And for the right hand, it only uses its thumb, index finger and middle finger. The thumb plucks the 3 low strings, which is the low E, A and D string, while the index finger and middle finger is for the last 3 strings, G, B and E. So the finger picking pattern starts off by hitting the root note to make the G chord, and pluck the root note. Then you're going to pluck the D and B string at the same time with the middle finger and thumb. So first the root note, and then D and B. Then you're going to pluck the D string with your thumb, followed up by plucking the G string with your index finger, back to the D string, and then finish off on the B string with your middle finger. So it sounds like this. And from the beginning, the root note, D and B at the same time, D, G, D, B. So that's basically it for the finger picking pattern, which keeps looping around every single chord throughout the entire song. And as soon as you learn this finger picking technique, you will actually possess a very classic Sheeran technique that he uses for a lot of his songs, playing either live or acoustic. A good example is when Ed performed the A-Team back in his old days using the exact same finger picking. I will show you a quick demonstration of the A-Team. So the chords are very simple, and I'm going to refer to the chords as the no capo on. The intro/verse is the same chord progression. The intro is just 2 rounds before getting into the lyrics. Now the verse consists of 3 rounds, in which the last 3rd round will be followed up by 3 new chords that leads to the next part in the song. So the chord progression for the intro/verse is the G chord, which I already showed you. Then an A9 sus, which is just the same as a G, just on the A note. A C sus 2. And a tip is to mute the low E string as you hit the C sus 2. And I'll do it with the thumb, which I think is the easiest way to do it. So the last 3 chords by the end of the 3rd round in the verse is an E minor 7, a D, and a C at 9. So the variation in the verse occurs in the transition from the D chord to the C at 9. And what you will have to do is, as you hit the D chord, you will pluck the root note as you would usually do, but then you're going to do it again. Then pluck the B string, G string, and then you do the C at 9 chord, and then you hit the root note on the C at 9 chord. So it should sound like this. And then you go back to the normal finger picking pattern. So the chord progression for the pre-chorus actually starts from where you left on the C at 9 in the verse. Then you go to a D, E minor 7, G chord, C at 9 again, and then back to D. So there's actually 5 different variations in the pre-chorus. The first one is on the C at 9, on the starting chord. And this variation only occurs in the second pre-chorus. So the variation actually starts when you hit the last C at 9 chord in the verse, which is also the starting chord in the pre-chorus. So as you hit the C at 9 chord at the end of the verse, you will start out with the regular fingerpicking technique, hitting the root note. But as you pluck the D and B string together, you're gonna do a hammer on the D string with your index finger. So root note and hammer on. And then you're gonna continue the finger picking. But then you're gonna pluck the D string, B string, and then you're gonna pluck the G string, D string, B string, and then the root note. Then you're gonna do the exact same hammer on as before, and then go back to the normal finger picking technique. So it should sound like this. The second variation is a very quick and silent hammer on the D chord. And this time you're gonna do a regular D chord with your middle finger on the high E. And the hammer on is on the 3rd fret with your little finger on the high E. And you're gonna do the regular finger picking, but with the hammer on. So it should sound like this. The third variation is in the transition from the E minor 7 to the G chord. And you will have to do one round with the regular finger picking pattern. So like this. Then you're gonna hit the root note again, then pluck the D and G, and then you're gonna put the index finger on the low E string on the second fret, hit the root note again, and then the D and G again, and then you're gonna do the G chord and hit the root note. So it should sound like this. The fourth variation is very similar to the variation from D minor 7 to the G chord. The only difference is that you're going to use this note, which is the A string on the second fret, to switch to the C at 9. So it should sound like this. Then you're going back to the regular finger picking pattern. So the final and fifth variation in the pre-chorus is in the transition from the D chord to the G, in which the chorus starts. And this variation is the exact same as we saw in the verse. The only difference is that you're going to do one round with the normal finger picking pattern before doing the variation. So it should sound like this. Then the G chord. The chord progression for the chorus is very similar to the intro/verse. The only difference is that you're going to add in the E minor 7 chord in between the A and sus2 chord. So it should sound like this. So the break comes right after the chorus for 2 rounds, and the chord progression is the exact same as the verse. It's the part where he hums, and then it goes straight into the next verse, as it is the same chord progression. So the chord progression for the last part, the outro, is actually just the exact same as the chorus, but instead of doing finger picking, you're just gonna pluck the root note and the G and B string. So it should sound like this. So just a quick note before getting into the playthrough, I will play the demonstration with all the variations. As soon as you can master the regular finger picking pattern for this song, you can actually play the entire song. It's a bit different with the variations because they might seem a bit out of context, showing them, demonstrating them one by one. And I think doing the demonstration with all the variations might give a full picture of how to combine all these variations in the song. This particular live version that I'm playing along with is very sped up, and it's even faster than I prefer. But I also think that this version shows a lot of Ed Sheeran's interesting fingerpicking styles in terms of the different variations that I just showed you. And that's actually why I chose this version to be the foundation for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed this video, and most of all, I hope it was helpful. Thanks for watching, and let me know which Ed Sheeran song I should do next.
New life.